This is a sports catastrophe production. Hey there, Heather, ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another sports catastrophe birthday boy. No, not today. It's a birthday girl today. So anyway, this lady is a legend in the world of women's basketball. She actually was a basketball player slash coach in the WNBA, who was a broadcaster for the Oklahoma City Thunder, and helped the team win the Big Three title in 2018. That's the 3-on-3 basketball championships. She's a member of the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame, the St. Louis Jewish Sports Hall of Fame, and the Virginia Sports Hall of Fame. Her name is Nancy Lieberman. So Nancy Lieberman is 65 years old. So in Canada, she would be a senior citizen. Anyway, she was born in Brooklyn, being Jewish, calling herself a poor, skinny, red-headed Jewish girl from Queens. Anyway, she actually lost great-grandparents in the Holocaust, but her paternal grandparents survived, but had concentration camp members on their wrists. Anyway, after a divorce, Nancy's mother brought up the children, so she was interested in sports, playing baseball, softball, and football, before going through with basketball. She wasn't on a girls' team until she was a sophomore. However, Lieberman's mother was not supportive of her daughter's interest in basketball. Anyway, so it just didn't work out that well. But she still did well. And even though she was 17 years old, she actually made the U.S. squad for the Pan American Games, winning the gold medal. And then she even won. Did she win a gold medal? Yeah. Well, she played for the 76 women's team at the Olympics in Montreal at age 18. But that team took second to the Soviets. But she was still pretty impressive and all of that. Anyway, Lieberman would actually go to Old Dominion in Norfolk. And Old Dominion was known as a great college basketball school for women. They won 2 national championships in 79 and 80. It was the first woman to win the Wade Trophy, the National Women's Basketball Player of the Year, twice. She was pretty good and all that. She was known as Lady Magic, a nod to Magic Johnson at the time, because she could pass the ball and do well for herself. Her school record for assists, 961, still stand today. And she produced pretty well. She once had a triple-double against Norfolk State, scoring 40 points. She stole the ball 562 times, which is still a record. And all that. She got a degree in interdisciplinary studies from Old Dominion. It was named to the Hall of Fame, in 1985. So anyway, the Women's Pro Basketball League started in 1980, and she signed with the Dallas Diamonds, making them get to the final, but lost in 5 to Nebraska. She was still Rookie of the Year. Of course, the Women's Pro Basketball League was only around for a few years. She would suit up for Dallas again when they became part of the Women's American Basketball Association, WABA. So anyway, she did pretty well, giving Dallas the title. Unfortunately, though, the WABA broke up. So anyway, Lieberman signed with Springfield of the U.S. Basketball League in 1986, playing 11 minutes per game. She would play for Long Island, and it worked. Like, she was trying to break into the men's game, in a sense. She actually played some time with Phoenix in the WNBA. In his inaugural year in 97, she was only 39, but she was still the oldest player. She would actually sign a 7-day contract with Detroit. but only played one game for them. National title, she did okay and all that. She was part of the 1980 Olympic team, but of course, the boycott of the U.S. and Moscow led her not to do anything. So anyway, in 98, she was actually the GM head coach of the WNBA's Detroit Shock, coaching for 3 years. And then became a women's basketball analyst on ESPN, and became coach of the Texas Legends in the NBA Developmental League. Sacramento made her an assistant coach in July 2015. Only there for a few years, and then became a broadcaster with New Orleans. But anyway, she became part of the Big Three League, you know, the 3-on-3 thing, winning the title. But other than that, she was okay. She helped Old Dominion win a couple titles. In 97, she played 25 games, the full first season with Phoenix. And then played one game for the 2008 Detroit Shock, which is huge. It's like 11 years in between games. So anyway, she would only play 1 minute for Phoenix in a playoff game. She does have a statue of her at Old Dominion University, the first statue of a former ODU athlete. Lieberman actually lived with Martina Navratilova for several years and was her physical trainer. So that worked out. Lieberman would marry Tim Klein, being Nancy Lieberman Klein, until they divorced in 2001. Their son TJ played for Richmond in the NCAA, but then signed with Hapoel Holon in Israel. Despite her Jewish upbringing, Lieberman was a Christian late in life. She still says she's 100% Jewish because her father's parents were deeply religious. And my mother's side observed the major holidays. I went to Hebrew school as well. So she tried her best and all that to make things happen in the world of women's basketball. And you can't beat that. She's the reason why we have great players like Rebecca Lobo, Sue Bird, Swin Cash, and many others. Oh, Diana Taurasi, that's right. So, yeah, that's how I feel. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond, a dude.